So I've got a couple of Juki industrial sewing machines that I use quite frequently. My original one was a LU-1508N, and on that one I did a 190 needle system conversion, which lets it sew a little bit thicker material. Doesn't let it use any heavier thread, but just a little bit thicker material when it comes to leather. And in the back of my mind, I've wondered, hey, should I do that on my 1508N model? And let's get into it and see if that's a good mod that you might want to do. This 1508N model is really only rated to sew 3/8 of an inch of compressed material, but this is a 1/2 inch setup block, and I've got a full 1/2 inch of oil tanned medium temper leather here, and we'll see how that does in the stock configuration. So this is with the standard 135/17 needle, and it has no trouble punching through that thickness, but what you'll notice when the needle bar is in the down position, it's just about contacting the presser foot. So let me roll that down by hand once, and you can see just how close that's getting. So that would be the absolute max to be at a 1/2 inch with this shorter needle system. Now another thing to point out is this is not a stock motor. This is actually a Kinedyne digital servo, and so that helps to have a lot of extra torque for punching through the thick layers of leather. So this is a HM750SL motor. It's rated at 750 watts or a full 1 horsepower. So that's pretty impressive, and basically the stock machine setup that it can sew that easily through such thick leather. I'm impressed with that. I'm happy with it. I just want a little more clearance between the needle bar and my presser foot. We'll finish up a row of stitches here and evaluate whether it's actually balancing the tensions top and bottom. And look at that motor, doesn't stutter at all. Excellent punching power on that Kinedyne. And perhaps on a lesser machine I wouldn't even attempt to sew anything thicker than 1/2 inch, but that 16mm presser foot lift really made me want to try it out. And that is legitimately forming a well-balanced stitch. Looks acceptable quality on the top, very good, no issues. On the bottom, looks like it's pulling it up and forming a nice complete stitch. So if your model number is an LU-1508N or NS subvariant, I would expect this same level of performance. Hey, do you like this topic and find it helpful? Give me a quick thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Take off your slide plates and the throat plate, and if these screws that retain the feed dog are a little bit snug, a little shorty screwdriver like this with flats on it is super handy just to break those loose. Of course, you won't reinstall those with much torque, but sometimes it helps to free things up and not strip anything out. And you can pull that feed dog out of there. Now with that 135/17 needle reinstalled, maybe you can see as the point of the hook comes around, it intersects the needle just 1.5 millimeters or about a 1/16 of an inch above the eye. That's the correct timing position for this machine. But as we swap this out for the 190 needle system, we'll need to raise up the needle bar slightly to maintain timing. And that's just because the 190 needle system here in the foreground is about 3/16 of an inch longer than a typical 135/17 needle. And those are available in a variety of sizes and brands, but take note that a 190 LR will be a leather point needle versus a 190R will be a round point needle. Yeah, it's difficult to see, I'm sure, but with that 190 needle system installed, at the point where the hook is adjacent to the needle is way too low, so we need to raise that needle bar up. And just inside the side cover of the machine, you'll find the needle bar clamping screw just here. So we'll loosen that and raise up the needle bar about 3/16 of an inch. Loosen it just enough to free up motion in that needle bar. I'll come around behind the machine here so you can kind of see that we've established enough freedom of movement so we can raise that up and position it as needed, but it's not just going to drop freely up and down. That's exactly what you want. And what we're going for is you want that hook to pass 1.5 millimeters above the eye of the needle. That's just right at 1/16 of an inch. That's a pretty standard measurement for many machines. And just as a way to visually double check that, that should land your hook about midway through the scarf. Once you have the height of the needle bar correct, just be aware that there's nothing keeping this needle bar guide pointing to the front, so you have to adjust that manually as well, and we'll tighten up the needle bar clamp. I'll get a little bit of tension on that and then raise it up to the perfect position where I can get good access to it. and put a little pressure and snug that clamp down. Nice. If there's any chance of showing this, it's probably with a little backlight here, but this is what you want, the hook to pass just above the eye of the needle. And just as a reminder, this doesn't affect your hook spacing, so there's no saddle adjustments. This doesn't affect the rotary hook position, so it's not really a true timing reset. All you're doing is resetting the needle bar height. So with everything reinstalled now, except for the presser feet, you can see that the needle is still perfectly centered in the feed dog. And with that giant U-style bobbin, if this 1508 will now sew better than a 1/2 inch of leather, this will be a dream machine for sure. So I'll stick with the same 92 weight thread, and that's a number 20 needle on this new 190 system. Well, first of all, let's see if it'll still do those same 6 layers, which amounted to about a 1/2 inch of leather. Make sure there's no needle deflection or anything crazy happening before we push it any further. It is squeaking. What is squeaking? The needle bar is a lot further from the presser feet. I like that, but I do have the mystery squeaking to figure out yet. Maybe it's just the needle through the leather. When I go a little faster, I don't hear it. Okay, the squeaking just was from the throat plate rubbing against the feed dog, so I loosened up the retaining screws there and just let that plate kind of find its happy place again, and squeaking looks like it's more or less gone. So it certainly doesn't struggle going through that 1/2 inch just like the original needle system could, so let's push it a little further and see how it does. What about if we add another layer of 3 to 4 ounce leather up on top of that? So that takes our total thickness to about 9/16 of an inch now, and we'll see if we can do it. Well, we'll check the stitch quality on the backside, but so far no problems, just marches right along. Oh, there's a problem.
There's a problem.
All right, let's jump it up to a size 23, still in that longer 190 needle system, and see if that has a little more resistance to deflection and needle breaks. Now generally you'd use a bigger needle like this with a thicker thread, so I may have to switch up to a 138 thread for sewing in thick leather. Yeah, so interesting. Now I'm not getting that squeak at all, so it must have just been related to deflection of that thinner number 20 needle. That looks pretty good. I think I'll just go with a 22 or a 23 needle leather point. Might be a good solution for me on my thicker projects. And we'll just back tack to be able to check the stitch quality. Nice. And interestingly, I didn't even have to change my needle position sensor. That stayed dialed in after adjusting the needle bar height. And stitching on the back side continues to look good. Okay, let's add one more layer of 3 to 4 ounce leather for a total thickness there of 8 layers or 5/8 of an inch, and see if we can do that with that number 23 needle. It's definitely got the foot clearance. One thing I really love about this machine. Now notice the squeak is back, so it may just be the machine really working to penetrate that thickness of leather, and the leather is getting very hard just because it's been stitched together already, but looks like it's doing it. Let's see if we can do a back tack like you would with a normal work piece. There it is. Looks really good. Good top side. Tension is balanced on the bottom, so I mean, this is way above what you would probably normally do, but it now has the ability to cross those heavy seams and bulky transitions, and it's just not going to slow down. Aye! And I can still jump back to my normal 2-layer projects, like for my credit card holders that I'm always working on, and no problems, no modifications to go back and forth between the thinner and the thicker projects. I love it. So pros and cons on this. I guess I'm never going to sew, 2,500 stitches per minute, but I wouldn't have anyway. I like to do small leather crafts, so I just want the ability to occasionally, very occasionally, be able to sew over thicker transitions, and this has definitely done it for me. You might have to jump up to a larger needle size for crazy thicknesses like this, but that would be true with any needle system. Let's watch it walk up those extra layers and see if it struggles much. Now the motor you use is another consideration too. You might not be able to do this just with a typical 550 watt analog servo. You might need a digital servo or something with a little more power. Or of course, an old-fashioned speed reducer would get the job done too. And here's with some white 135 thread on the top. Let's see how that looks. Probably a little more appropriate for something this heavy duty. Yeah, that looks really neat. And yeah, I really think that does stretch your capacity. Almost unlimited in what you can sew. Within reason, up to about 5/8 of an inch. So for me, that's really dynamite. So what are the differences between the 1508N and the 1508NH, that heavy duty version? Well, the hook assembly is a different part number, so it's really situated for the heavier weight threads. So if you want to use, a lot of 207 or a little heavier thread, you probably want to just go with the NH variant rather than upscaling your N or NS model. But otherwise, they're very similar. The needle bar stroke is 36 millimeters on the 1508N versus 38 millimeters on the NH, so just a 2 millimeter difference there. The hand wheel, now the outer diameter on your hand wheel is 160 millimeters on the N variant and 175 millimeters on the NH variant. So 15 millimeters bigger, but again, that's the outer diameter, so unless you're considering, stitching by hand to a corner, really, it doesn't make much difference. And regardless of the variant, this machine is designed to handle a needle size 18 or 20 all the way up to size 24. Cool, now we can get back to making stuff like this oil coaster for our sewing machine. And of course this thickness, the original needle system could handle, but I do feel good knowing that any time I could put in a number 23 needle and just handle some really heavy sewing projects. So I think that's a nice upgrade for me. Yeah, that's sewing really nice. I love it when a plan comes together. Does anyone else have a matchbox from 1997? Pathetic. So my machine is still perfect for leather crafting, but I've added the ability to do some heavier weight projects as well. That ought to help me remember to oil it. So in the end, should you convert your Juki LU-1508N to a longer 190 needle system, almost mocking the setup on the NH variant, the heavy duty version of this machine? No, I can't tell you to do that. It certainly might have warranty implications in your case. Mine I've had for a while now, so no warranty to speak of. So I had no trouble switching it over to that longer needle system, and it does let me sew thicker material, which is important in my upholstery and crafting work. So it's been a great mod for me. Now, will it let me sew with heavier thread? I don't know. I haven't really tested anything higher than 138, so I can't answer that question for you. That wasn't my goal. I wanted to easily be able to sew up to a 1/2 inch thick or a little better, and this mod certainly helped me with that. Well, that ought to look pretty good with my custom canvas cover. If you want to learn more about this machine cover as a sewing project or just about the 1508 in general, I'll put links in the description below. And now I'm truly happy. Aye! What do you think? Do you approve? Now, where can I get me one of those Kinedyne servos? And what about you? Oh yeah.